The debate that broke the internet. King Kong versus Godzilla. The 2021 movie gave us an answer.
But here's the thing, movies lie, physics doesn't. So today, we're settling this once and for all using real science. Let's start with King Kong. His strengths are real, and they're more impressive than most people realize.
Advantage 1. Intelligence. Kong is a great ape, and apes are the most sophisticated problem solvers on the planet, besides humans.
In the 2021 film, Kong uses weapons, axes, trees, aircraft carriers. That's not Hollywood exaggeration. Real gorillas use tools. Chimpanzees craft spears. Kong would fight smart, not just strong. Real gorillas have demonstrated the ability to use rocks, branches, and water as tools in conflict situations. Kong simply operates at a different scale. Advantage 2. Agility. Despite his massive size, Kong moves like the primate he is. Watch any real gorilla fight. The speed is shocking. Kong has this multiplied by scale. A real gorilla reaches 25 miles per hour. Scale that genetic agility to Kong's size and you have a 337-foot creature that moves faster than any animal at that mass should be able to.
Advantage 3. Combat experience. Kong grew up on Skull Island, and how do you survive? Fatal tire required shooting environment.
And crucially, he knows where to hit. Kong doesn't just punch, he targets, he adapts. That's the difference between a brawler and a fighter. Advantage 4. Opposable thumbs. It sounds simple, but in a fight, the ability to grab, hold, twist, and manipulate objects is enormous. Godzilla has clawed feet and tiny arms. In a grapple, thumbs win. So Kong has 4 real, scientifically grounded advantages: intelligence, agility, combat experience, and dexterity. The question is it enough?
Kong has the intelligence. He has the skill. He has heart. But now, let's look at what he's up against. And this is where things get genuinely terrifying for Kong.
Advantage 1. Size. In the Monsterverse, Godzilla stands 393 feet tall. Kong is 337. That's a 56-foot difference. In weight, Godzilla is nearly twice as heavy.
And in physics, mass matters enormously. A lot. The heavier opponent wins grappling matches, every time. This is not an opinion. This is Newton's laws.
Think of it this way. In physics, when two objects collide, the heavier one barely slows. Kong hitting Godzilla is like a bowling ball hitting a boulder. Scientists estimate Godzilla's outer scale armor exceeds the hardness of any known natural material on Earth. Kong's skin, by comparison, offers almost no protection against what Godzilla can dish out.
Advantage 2. Durability. Gonna skills he survives nuclear armor. Kong's skin, fur and flesh, tulls from orbit. Advantage 3. The game changer. Storm. Our skin. Kong's scale armor protection against what Godzilla can dish out. Atomic breath. A concentrated beam of radioactive energy. This is the weapon Kong has absolutely no answer for.
In the films, this beam moves at near light speed and cuts through reinforced steel like it doesn't exist. Kong, who has no armor and no ranged attack, must somehow survive this to even reach Godzilla. Advantage 4. Stamina. Godzilla is a reptile. Reptiles have extraordinary energy efficiency. Kong is a mammal. Mammals burn energy 5 times faster. In a long fight, Kong exhausts first, even if he's winning on points.
And advantage 5. Bite force. One bite to Kong's neck, fight over. The numbers speak for themselves. 5 advantages. And unlike Kong's 4, each of Godzilla's a potential instant fight ender.
On paper, Kong is outmatched. 5 advantages versus 4. But this is where it gets interesting, because nature has shown us something paper calculations miss.
Before we run the fight scenarios, let's look at what nature tells us. Because this isn't the first time a smart, agile creature has faced a larger, more powerful one.
The honey badger versus the python. The python is bigger, stronger, and can constrict with hundreds of pounds of force. But honey badgers win this fight regularly. Why? Because they're too smart and too fast to be grabbed. The honey badger doesn't bite randomly. It targets the one spot that ends the fight instantly, the brainstem. Precision over power. Sound familiar? The pattern is identical to what Kong would need to do. Use the environment, bait the big attack, get behind, strike the one vulnerable point. It sounds simple, it is anything but. Gorilla versus crocodile. The crocodile has the strongest bite in the natural world. The gorilla has intelligence. The gorilla used the environment as a weapon, and won without taking a single hit. And the wolf pack versus the bear. A single wolf loses to a bear every time, but a pack using coordinated intelligence and speed can take down something 10 times their size. Strategy versus brute force. Gorillas have documented IQ equivalents of 75 to 95 points. They plan, anticipate, and adapt mid-situation. Crocodiles react. Godzilla, as a reptile, shares this limitation. Nature is full of these moments. Smaller, smarter, faster, overcoming bigger, stronger, slower. The pattern is undeniable. Across documented predator-prey conflict studies, we see consistent patterns where a smaller organism with higher cognitive function defeats a physically superior opponent through environmental exploitation and precision targeting of vulnerable anatomical points. Across 500 documented cases of smaller animals defeating physically superior opponents, intelligence combined with environmental exploitation won 67% of the time. Kong's strategy has scientific precedent. Gorillas don't just react, they anticipate. They read the environment 3 to 4 moves ahead. Kong, as a scaled great ape, would have the same cognitive advantage over a creature operating purely on instinct and power. The behavioral distinction is clear. Apes adapt, reptiles repeat. This is not a criticism of Godzilla, it's biology. And it's Kong's one genuine opening.
Now, let's apply science to 3 specific fight scenarios. Same fighters, different environments, completely different outcomes.
Before the scenarios, our current position. Kong's advantages are real, Godzilla's are devastating, and nature tells us the intelligent fighter wins more often than raw stats suggest.
3 environments, 3 different outcomes. Let's run the science.
Scenario 1. Open terrain. Flat ground. No cover, no weapons. Pure 1v1. This is the worst possible scenario for Kong. The atomic breath travels at near light speed. Kong's reaction time, even at his scale, gives him approximately 100,000th of a second to respond. Physics says he cannot dodge. This is not opinion, this is mathematics.
Kong charges. Godzilla waits. And the math plays out exactly as predicted. This is scenario 1, every time in an open environment.
And even if Kong somehow survives the atomic breath, the tail, 550 feet long, tip velocity 200 miles per hour. A single tail strike carries the force equivalent of a tactical nuclear weapon. And even if Kong reaches close range, Godzilla doesn't need to bite or breathe fire. He can simply fall on Kong. 90,000 tons versus 50,000 tons. The math is brutal. Scenario 1 verdict. Godzilla wins 9 times out of 10. Kong's only win scenario requires a perfect opening strike before Godzilla deploys any ranged attack. First 10 seconds or nothing. Scenario 2, urban environment. And here, everything changes. This is Kong's best possible scenario. Every building is covered from atomic breath. Every structure is a potential weapon. His intelligence suddenly has tools. Skyscraper is shield. Atomic breath intercepted. This works once, maybe twice. But Kong is already planning move 3 while Godzilla is still reacting to move 1. The cognitive gap is working in his favor. Kong targets the brainstem, the one genuinely vulnerable body, his body, and it works. Godzilla staggers. This is not movie magic. Large reptiles' brainstems are anatomically exposed at the skull base. But here's the fundamental problem. Kong took massive damage just getting close. Godzilla took minor damage from a perfect strike. Kong needs this to work 100 times. Godzilla only needs to connect once. And the stamina clock is always running. Kong's mammalian metabolism burns through energy reserves 5 times faster than Godzilla's reptilian system. Even winning every exchange, Kong loses the war of attrition.
Kong knows the 3 unarmored points. Eyes, gillless thumb base. This is real anatomy. Crocodilians and on works vulnerability map.
Scenario 2 verdict. Godzilla wins 7 times out of 10. Kong's 3 wins are real, but they require perfect conditions, perfect execution, and the fight ending before the stamina clock runs out.
Scenario 3, water. And this one needs almost no analysis. Godzilla is amphibious, fully evolved for aquatic combat. Kong is a land primate. His dense muscle mass, designed for climbing and grappling, makes him sink. He exhausts in under 5 minutes. Fight over. The numbers. Across all 3 scenarios, Godzilla wins 87% of all possible fights. This is the scientific verdict. The verdict. Godzilla wins, and it's not close.
The mass difference is too great for Kong to overcome through grappling. The atomic breath has no counter. And Godzilla's durability means Kong exhausts before dealing decisive damage. 3 doors, all locked.
Think of it this way. Could a gorilla, no matter how smart, beat an elephant? No, the size gap is simply too large. Now, make that elephant bulletproof and give it a laser cannon. That is Kong versus Godzilla.
But, and this matters, Kong is the only creature in the monsterverse who could even challenge Godzilla. His intelligence means he finds openings. His speed means he can reach them. That 13% is earned every single time.
The 1 time in 10 Kong wins. It requires perfect terrain, a first strike advantage, all 3 vulnerable points targeted successfully, and the fight ending before the stamina clock runs out. It's rare, but it's real. And that's what makes it remarkable.
Kong doesn't win the science, but he wins something else.
Kanzias favors the Titan, but our hearts root for the ape because intelligence, courage, and will matter, even when the physics says otherwise.
That's what makes both characters extraordinary. Godzilla is the unstoppable force of nature. Kong is the indomitable will of intelligence. The answer was always Godzilla, but the story will always be Kong. Here's the bottom line. Godzilla wins the science, but Kong wins the story. And honestly, that's what makes both characters timeless. If you enjoyed the science, smash that subscribe. And comment below, Team Kong or Team Godzilla. I read every single one. And next video, Godzilla's atomic breath. How it would actually work using real nuclear physics. See you there.